Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hi. Ricardo, do you want to just say a few words just to make sure I can hear you on my end, please?
I can hear you definitely, Lucinda.
Perfect. Hello. Hi, everybody.
I'm glad to have this call again.
Yes. We'll just wait another few seconds for more people to join. Just pulling up the questions here. Do we have anybody new on this evening's call? If you're new, please just let us know in the chat. Drop us a message. Okay, so Paul's new. Welcome.
Paul is new.
Brenda as well. So for any of you newbies, my name is Lucinda. I do the Tuesday coaching call alongside Ricardo. During this call, we go over everything to do with the operational side of running an Amazon business and basically just like sourcing your product. So negotiating with suppliers, working with freight forwarders. So shipping your product from your supplier to Amazon. So yeah, all of that operational fun stuff. Just a kind of a brief background on me, how I got to be here in front of you all. I was the operations manager for Zadara Skincare, which was Tom's skincare brand. And throughout that whole experience, I obviously, learned a lot and hope to, share all of that with everybody. And Ricardo, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. And I'm glad that we're into this call again. And I was just talking to Edward, and I was saying that I always get excited when I join this call. Anyway, I'm Ricardo, and I'm doing the sourcing stuff for Tom's team, and I have joined Tom's since 2019. And prior to this, I've been doing sourcing, and also I do a lot of negotiation thing and some logistics stuff for 15 years. And yeah, I'm really happy to have this coaching call because it makes me feel excited to share things. And I also, as Lucinda said, we learned a lot from you also, and that's really makes things very fulfilling for both of us, right, Lucinda?
Yeah, no, I definitely get excited for coming on these calls. And yeah, your questions, they are so valuable to everybody else, and they keep us on our toes, making sure we're up to date, current, know exactly kind of what's going on. So yeah. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna jump. So we'll start off with the questions. So prior to these calls, we just ask that you submit your questions, and then after that, we always have time for any other questions that you want to ask in the chat. I don't believe we actually got that many questions submitted prior. There was a question that I missed last week from Edgar. I think it was submitted just as we started the call. So I'm going to just read this out. Okay, yeah. So question here from Edgar. This is related to the product and supplier information request form from Lucinda shared with the group. If we are currently waiting on samples from a couple of suppliers, would you still recommend sending them this form to complete, or is this something I should have sent them during the engagement process? So I will actually just share that form just so everybody is kind of aware what we're talking about. And I'll also attach it to this call after. So let's see here. You can all see my screen? Yes. Ricardo, just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, even though I minimized you. Okay, I presume you all can see it. So this is the product and supplier information form. And with this, I basically, yeah, just send it out to suppliers that I potentially, want to work with, I want to source from. And it's just a really good way to, retrieve and compile all of the information about that manufacturer. So like Edgar's question was, should we send this, before getting samples, like at the early stages? So how I do it, I would have them fill this in before receiving samples, just in case, you order samples, you pay for the shipping, and then, later on you send this and there's a red flag, then, it's kind of been maybe perhaps a bit of a waste, paying for that. And there being, a red flag with this document. So basically with the document, it just goes right into everything about the supplier. So the basics, where they're located, MOQs, Edgar, you can talk. As you can see, I'm not the best at working this. So if you just want to unmute yourself.
Yep, I'm muted. Am I muted or unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just that follow-up question. So what would be a red flag for this?
So like, yeah, seeing this is right here. So maybe if you're like sourcing like a beauty product, and they don't have like certain testing that's like required, and even, let's see, maybe it's like their payment terms, like maybe their payment terms like are way off, like they're not like 70-30 or the 30-70, or they're not the 50-50. Those would be kind of like red flags as well. Maybe not allowing you to go in and do like a 100% like post inspection. Like, maybe finding out that it is patented, like the product. So they're kind of just off the top of my head sort of red flags. Ricardo, do you want to kind of jump in and kind of share your experience? Like, what would be a red flag to you that you don't want to work with a supplier?
Before he answers, can I have a follow-up?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, ask. Yeah.
So I guess it'll all depend on the product you're bringing in. If you're not bringing any beauty products and it's not related to your product, then they answer no to a number of those things and it's not related to your product, would that be considered a red flag, or you use your own discrepancy sort of thing?
So obviously a lot of it will be based down to, yes, like the sort of product. Like for me personally, like, yeah, like a lot of it would be based down to like the type of product that I'm sourcing. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like what would be kind of just like a more general red flag. But I would say like the inspection, like as in if they're not going to allow you to do an inspection, and definitely like regulatory like certificates as well, like GMP compliance, which isn't just specific to beauty products. So I do think, again, it obviously depends on the type of product you're sourcing, but it is very, very, very important that you ask like these questions up front. So you can either, ask them by message, or you can send them this form, and this form just like answers, literally like absolutely like everything. Yeah, so you even got like FDA, product packaging, everything. So do you have any follow-up questions?
Yeah, how would you encourage the suppliers to complete this form? Because I've sent it to a number of them, and essentially it's ignored.
Okay.
But I mean, we've been having conversations regarding the samples. I've received a few samples already, and I do a follow up and like, oh, did you get a chance to complete that form? My director won't let me proceed forward if that doesn't get complete or partially complete. And they ignore it, and it's like, oh, how do you like the samples, sort of thing, right? So I mean, how do you encourage them?
So like what you've like said is what I generally say is like, we can't proceed until this document is filled in. This is our standard operating procedure. And the thing is like a lot of like huge, very big, successful like companies, like this is what they use. This is actually how I learned like was able to create this. It is very, very, very normal. Like it's very standard practice to send this prior to, you know, sourcing a product. But I would like have you said that also, like we can't proceed any further until you know, we have this complete. You know, this is what we do with all of our other, you know, manufacturers. Even just saying like the other suppliers you've reached out to get quotes and samples, they've been able to complete this. So you don't understand why, you know, they can't.
Yeah, I mean, I've said a number of those things, but it's just like
Mhm.
they redirect, they ignore it, and then they redirect. Oh, how do you like the samples? Or, you know, is there anything else you want to change in the samples? And I
Mhm.
basically tell them like, look, I can't proceed with the MOQ until, you know, this form is complete because I gotta provide this to my director. If they don't
Mhm.
see it, then you know, we can't proceed forward, sort of thing, right? So,
Mhm.
and you know, they're like, oh yeah, we'll look at it later, we'll send it to you later, and then they ignore me, and you know, the conversation comes up with the samples again, right? And then
Mhm.
at the end of the conversation, I forget.
Mhm. So like if you really want to, you know, continue to proceed and work with, you know, like a particular supplier who, you know, is not willing to fill this in, then all I could really suggest is just asking these questions then by, you know, message like individually. But to be honest, like when I first saw, um, you know, like this form being used by, you know, other big sellers, at first I was like, oh, like, you know, there's going to be pushback with this. But like in my experience, I've been pleasantly surprised with, you know, a lot of like manufacturers, you know, being willing to fill this in. But if you're getting that pushback, my concern would be, you know, how willing they're going to be like to go out of their way for you for other stuff down the road. Yeah, that would kind of be my takeaway from it. But if you really want to continue, you know, communicating and working with them and like try build a relationship, then just kind of resort back to kind of the old fashioned way of asking them individually these kind of like burning questions.
That makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
everything else relating to the suppliers, like being on point with responses, you know, upfront with the costing and whatnot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, I've received a couple samples that I'm really happy with. Now I'm just, you know, trying to get them
Mm-hmm.
to fill out this form, sort of thing. So I might have to
Mm-hmm.
resort to just verbally ask them.
Yeah, and like of course, you know, it might take them a week or two. Like in your case, it does seem like, you know, you've been asking for a number of weeks, so they're not filling it in. But just so everybody else is aware, like, you know, this might take a week or two. Like when I send this, you know, usually, yeah, it takes about a week for them to get back to me. And also just bear in mind when you do send this, like the time of year, you know, if it's coming up to a holiday and stuff, or it's, you know, Q4, you know, like they might be slow to get back to you with it. But keep pushing. Like in my experience, like, you know, they do fill this in. um Ricardo, do you use something similar? I'm just
Yep.
curious.
Actually, okay, Edgar, you know, I've been experiencing these things also when I give forms, they ignore that. That's really normal. So what, you know what I do? I hope this will work with you, Edgar. What I do, I send that through the email. I copy, I mean, the forms that, the form that you see in the forward to her supply, that is very useful. So if someone would ignore me, what I do, I send that through the email, I copy that, and then I paste that. Because once they have it in the email, they have no way to ignore that because they would see that. And then this will add also, Edgar. What you do is, you know, they get excited when they get a lot of quantities for the order. You could probably say that in the email, I'm referring to the email. So you could probably say that I have some form that you need. I have some questions. Please provide all the information to this, and I'll be ordering like exaggerate the quantity, and then definitely they will, oh, this is a big quantity, so I definitely have to answer this these questions. Then once you have all the information, you could probably say, oh, your price is so high that I could not commit to you the quantity that I have requested. So I would probably go down into this quantity. So something like that. I mean, as we have been mentioning before, white lies would definitely not affect us, because the thing is, anything that is very beneficial for us, do it. So that so that you could get all the information that you could get. So that's what I normally do. And as we have been saying before, that we just have to be, we have to be upfront to them, to be say a statement to them, not just like you are asking for it. Command them, because it is one, it is one way to get these people. So that's what I do.
Mhm.
Okay. So I
Okay.
hope that helps, Edward.
It,
And
it does
for the
help.
people.
Just that I don't, my fear is because I built this somewhat like soft relationship with the supplier already. I don't want to turn them off and have them. I mean, do I risk that as if I'm too aggressive? Like I understand, like you want to be like straightforward and somewhat aggressive, but my fear is risking them having to ghost me, right? Because like I said, I'm very happy with the samples that they've sent. I'm ready to like my 30% done. It's just like now that I want this form to be completed. I don't want to turn around and say, forget this guy, and then I got to start all over again, sort of thing.
No. I mean, they
No.
will not forget you, because the thing is, if they have sent you a sample, that means they are interested to work with you.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's one thing.
Yeah. Well, so what I would say is, again, kind of back to when I started to, see that this was kind of normal to send. At first, I was like, okay, no, suppliers are going to think like she's a nuisance. She's asking for too much. We don't want to work with her. If this is what she's like at the beginning, like what is she going to be like later on? But no, this is very like normal practice, like to send something like this. And like speaking, like this is stuff that like when you go to sell your business, the acquisition companies look for this. And that's like how I like learned a lot about this too. So when you go to sell your business, like they ask for this because they want to see that you've done your due diligence with the suppliers. And it also is security for yourself as well, depending on the type of product you sell. So for example, if, God forbid, something had happened, a customer using, the derma roller, for Zadara, and they made a complaint and they went to the FDA, when, if they had ever came back to us, I would have been like, I did my due diligence. Here is the background. Like, here's the supplier check I did. The supplier filled this in. The supplier said they did this, they did that, they had this certificate, and they signed it. So that's also why, again, obviously it depends on the type of product that you're selling. But that's also why it is very good to have some sort of a form. So if they've already, told you like the lead time, like the MOQ, all of that, you can remove that from the form to kind of, make it much smaller and then send it over to them and see if they'll fill it in. Maybe then it's like less overwhelming for them, but that's another option.
That makes
Yeah,
sense. What Ricardo says, they're once they send me a sample, they're interested. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then another thing, Lucinda, because the thing is, based on my experience also, this, if especially if you're communicating with Alibaba suppliers, because sometimes when they communicate to us via WeChat, or I do not know, with WhatsApp, they have an app there that they could immediately translate your English into Chinese. So when we submit this kind of form, maybe one of the reasons is because it's English, and then they're having problems with that. So what we could probably do, Lucinda, we could ask for the help of Chin and Charity to have translation on that, then have the English form that you have, and then let's put a translation under that, so that that would be easier for them also.
Yeah,
Because
we can definitely do
sometimes,
that. That's a good idea. That's
Yeah,
amazing
and
idea.
then another thing, I was reading on the chat, and it makes me smile when Hidi was the one who sent this message. And
Hmm.
it's so funny. She said that they want your money, do not fear. And yeah, they want our money definitely. So
Hmm.
try those things because
Hmm.
we are the buyers and they need us. Well, of
Hmm.
course, we need them also. We need them also.
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Okay,
And
you're
that's fun,
welcome.
Edgar. That's fun
Hmm.
when you
Thank you for asking. Yeah,
yeah,
thanks
I
for
had
asking
fun with
questions
your
about it.
questions.
Save, I'm gonna unmute you if you want to ask your question. I apologize for keeping you waiting there. I'm just gonna lower your hand. Go right ahead.
Hi guys.
Hi,
Hello.
Safay.
Hi. So I'm still new here and I am searching for the products. I feel like I am interested in skincare products and I was looking searching in Google to find something here in the US because last time I asked they told me like it's better for you to find like a manufacturer for skincare in the US better than searching
Yeah,
on
that's right.
these manufacturers.
Mhm.
Yes, I found this website that called onoxa.com, and I am not really sure if this is a reputable supplier or not. It looks very actually interesting to me at first because it has a lot of options here. So you choose your own products after you receive the kit, the sample kit. Like you choose your own product that you like, and then you tell them which one you like, and then you pick your design. You pick, even you can make your own label, and uh it's actually here. If you want to take a look to it, I will be.
Yeah, you can definitely send it in the link, and I can have a look at it. So most likely what you're looking at is just like a private label, like turnkey, like manufacturer. So so basically like, they have a whole portfolio of products. So like
Mhm.
cleansers, serums, and you'll sample those the exact same how you order a product from China, get it shipped to you, you sample it, you like it, then you begin working on your packaging. So like looking on there, it's the exact same process in terms of like kind of like the checklist, whether you should launch this product on Amazon. So if it's a vitamin C serum, you still need to do your check on Amazon to see if it's going to sell well, if it's competitive. Vitamin C is very competitive. Like it's the
Yes,
worst example for me to give you, but yeah,
yes, I checked vitamin C yesterday and I see that was very competitive, but they have like few other products like scrub, face scrub and things like that.
mhm, mhm.
And they also do like receive and test your own brand. Like you can make your own brand,
Yeah, so
which
they'll most likely have like an in-house graphic designer who you would work with, and they would create like your packaging, all of your branding, all of
yes.
that. So it's like a full turnkey, like sort of a package. There's lots of labs out there, in the USA and in Canada that offer that. Just look into pricing. It's often very expensive. And as Tom has said, skincare is very, very competitive on Amazon. So
Mhm.
you just definitely want to be careful with what product you decide to launch. Do a lot of research, use the tools like Helium 10. And yeah, but yeah, I can look at this, what you're talking about, but I have an idea already. It's just a full turnkey like lab that offers everything for you. So not so I don't know if your question is like, should you go with something like this, or
It's actually from all the sides. Like if I should go
mm,
the first time, something like this, and also if this is like shows like reputable suppliers to trust to work with. Because when I asked them like, can you walk me inside the manufacturer, they said no, it's like an excuse of COVID. And they was like sending me some pictures of your manufacturer. They said, we apologize, we don't have any pictures. So I was thinking, I don't know.
So they should definitely still be able to send you photos. They should be able to send you the FDA like registration, like certificates. They should be able to send you like the certificate of analysis for, you know, the products. So if it's a vitamin C product, they should be able to send you that. So if they're not, then I wouldn't work with them. You know, that would be a red flag. They should be able to send you that. There should not be any pushback. But don't just go with this one, you know, source for getting the product. The exact, you know, take the same steps as, you know, what we explained in the course, like, you know, have a huge list of potential suppliers and sample and sample and sample until you're happy with one. So yes, you still keep looking and compile a list of potential suppliers.
All right. I appreciate
Okay, you're
Thank-
welcome. Good luck.
you.
Okay. I think there was one other question on the sheet that was kind of for all of the coaches. So I'm going to read that out, and myself and Ricardo can give our thoughts on it. So this one is from Kitty. I have found a product that I think might work as the first product. I've done all the research, but I am still having doubts and fear. What should I do? So honestly, if you're feeling, you know, a little bit uneasy, nervous, first of all, that's normal. That's completely normal. But if you are, you know, very nervous, you know, about proceeding, like with placing your first order and, you know, your product idea, book a call with Dan. Have him do a check. It's, you know, that's what I would do. Ricardo, I'm going to hand it over to you if you want to add more.
Okay, I hope Kitty is here, but if she's not, we could probably advise her that we have something for her. For me, in order for you to, if you have some fear, because of course, one of the reasons you're having fear is because of the funds, the money that you're going to bring out. I mean, that's just normal. But what you do is this. Why don't you try buying something that is very interesting to you and then start with 50 units only? So, because when you buy something small, like let's say it's like 50 cents, for 50 units, that's only like 25 US dollars. Am I right? Is my math correct? 0.5 times 50 units, that's $25. And then with regards to shipping, that would definitely be less. So start something small that will put you in a situation that you could try everything. Okay, when you buy 50 units, you could try negotiating. You could try, sourcing, of course. Then you could also try the logistics thing. And then in the process, you could try the PPC. I think PPC will not work for this one, but the thing is, at least a part of the Amazon journey, you could try everything. So try something small, and then that will let you know what the process is going on when you do the Amazon journey. So that's my suggestion. Try that, and definitely it's like a master degree. A master degree that you would be paying like $300 to 350 US dollars in order for you to know the whole process of the Amazon journey. So that's what I could say, Kitty. That will definitely help.
And yes, that's you know, a great suggestion for, you know, getting comfortable and like learning the ropes of, you know, Amazon, like the process, like shipping, all of that, like creating shipment plans. but again, like it is normal to be nervous, you know, when you like with anything like this, like anything new, like a business decision. So, you know, like big moves, like, you know, it makes you nervous. It's completely normal. Like we still all get them, even, you know, when we're launching like, you know, our 20th product like on Amazon. So I think if it's like product specific, like you're unsure about like the actual product you've sourced, and you're, you know, you're nervous that it may not do well like on Amazon. Again, I would just book a call with Dan. So Dan does the Monday calls. So he's kind of all about product research and setup. But you can book a one-on-one coaching call and he'll look at the product. If you go onto the Facebook group, and you type his name in, you'll see a ton of students who have done this. So they've booked a call with him, showed him, you know, their product idea. He actually usually requests that you come with like a full list of like possible product ideas that you want to launch, and he will basically go through them, like vet them, and just confirm, you know, whether, you know, give his opinion on whether you should proceed or not. So yeah, again, that's more specific if it's like about the actual product. You're unsure whether, you know, this is going to be a successful product to launch on Amazon. So that is Kitty's question. We did have another question come through from Adrian. So the question is, I'm doing the shipping labels, but I'm wondering one step on the Amazon side. My product has a couple of glass bottles with liquid, no more than 4.2 ounce in total. They are contained in a wooden box packaged in shrink wrap and has their suffocation and expiration labels outside. The question is, when creating the case template for the shipping labels for the type of prep needed, should I go for no prep needed as the option since I'm covering the option on my side, or should I select glass fragile? Actually, I need to look at that. I would say no prep needed, but should I select glass or fragile? Like I've sent, so like in my experience, like I've sent glass bottles that have liquid, and, you know, they've been shrink wrapped, and I've always just selected no prep needed. I've never seen the glass or fragile option. So if you're, Adrian, are you on the call? If you are, do you mind coming on and speaking?
Hello.
Hi. So sorry, can you just explain where is, it's like when you're creating the shipment plan and you select case pack and you do the no prep needed, are you saying there's an option that says glass fragile?
Yeah, it says that there has a different options for example, if it's like a baby product or like a golden product, and there's also like a fragile glass product. So that was my question, because like when I was seeing like the way you're packaging like the liquids, I'm seeing like, for example, it said like for products not regulated as dangerous goods, because my products are not dangerous goods. And so like non-fragile, any container, you can use like a polybag. Fragile, 4.2 ounces or more, you can use bubble wrap. Fragile, less than 4.2 ounces, it says no prep required. But then my question is that because I tried to select fragile glass, and it says that, oh, your products have to be wrapped in bubble wrap and stuff like that. Or it was that option, or just like having them in shrink wrap and also just the labels. So because I'm already doing all those things on my side, and I already did, it says that in the requirement pages that you can do the drop test, that you can drop the product by 3 feet, and I did that, and the product was well, the containers were, they didn't have any problem at all. So just that.
Go ahead. Right.
It's just that if I select the no prep required, and if it needs when it arrives into Amazon, and it says, oh, you need to select fragile, and we need to charge you for the extra labeling or extra preps.
So like, again, like in my experience, when I've sent glass bottles, like, so like for skincare, so they've obviously had like liquid in them. They have, like, I've never selected fragile. I've just like, they've just been packaged. We never did like a drop
Boys,
test.
it's time to go pee and get ready to go, please.
Just make sure I'm
Piercing
muted,
you.
everybody. 1 second. There we go. So just lost my train of thought. So when we were sending serum bottles in, we never did a drop test, and I always just selected no prep needed. And they weren't individually packaged with like bubble wrap. So that has been like, in my experience, never had any issues. Ricardo, can you add anything to this, like regarding like the packing and like the requirements?
Okay. Now, with regards to Amazon thing, I'm not very much knowledgeable with this, but the thing is, with regards to packing, is the packaging is, I would go something that would protect my product. I mean, like what you're saying, but for me, it is all right. I mean, is Adrian asking if we would put a fragile sign on the packaging thing? Is it right?
So it is more that he's asking about like Amazon guidelines. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Adrian. You're just wondering really like about the Amazon guidelines. You obviously don't want your product to be refused. And so if he selects, so basically the question is like, should he select no prep needed, or should he select that the product is glass or fragile? If he selects that the product is glass or fragile, there's going to be an additional fee because they're going to have to label that it is glass, and like that it's fragile.
Okay, that's for the Amazon guideline. So actually, I am not much knowledgeable with the Amazon guideline, and that's I cannot share so much for that one. You know what? With all these things, I should really go into going into a course also with regards to the Amazon guideline. I will do that so that
there's a lot, and it changes all the time. Like I said, even I actually have never noticed the fragile in glass, and I've been sending like glass bottles for 4 years now into Amazon, and I've never selected it. So has the product already left? So sorry, it obviously has not left because you're in the process of creating the the shipment plan.
It hasn't left. It's already in production. So I'm still time, I think.
So I would do no prep needed, just given off of like how I've done stuff in the past. But if you the fact that you still have time, you could just get glass and fragile put on, like you can just get that put on the cartons. Like you can get your manufacturer just to put that on, that it's like fragile.
For me, Adrian, is do something that would protect your product. I mean, because along the way, when it goes to Amazon, there are so many handling that's going to happen. So anything that would, because I'm sure that this doesn't come into my mind also, because what is important for me is if it's made of glass, made of something like that, it has to be protected to avoid the handling the handling stress on the product. So just think of that. I mean, I do not know if I have I've said it right, but for me, correct me, Lucinda, because the thing is, what is important for me is the product should be protected
Mhm.
from the handling process, because you know, when it is handled from the factory, they will move it to the container, and then all those stuff. So
Mhm.
we have to make sure that our product is well protected in order to avoid those breakage.
And one other thing, Adrian, you could ask, like, have you asked your supplier if they've shipped this product before to Amazon and how, like, you know, others have shipped it, like the competitors?
Oh yeah, I'll ask them because they normally just they haven't said anything about if they put like bubble wrap, so I will assume that they normally don't do that. So
Mhm.
I'll ask them to see that if they ask if they add normally the bubble wrap from other clients.
So like what I would take away from this is if you know if you've taken the steps to protect your product and you've said, you know, you've done like the drop test and everything is fine, you don't need to select like glass or fragile, or like, sorry, you don't need to select like that prep is needed. You've taken care of that. So I would just do like no prep is needed. And that's kind of your goal anyway, because like you want to do all that prep before it gets to Amazon. So you're not paying the higher fee for them to do it. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I have
Um,
something to add to that also.
mhm.
Maybe the reason why your supplier is asking you to put that on a bubble wrap, because it's cheaper compared to putting it in a PE foam. So I guess that is the reason why they're telling you to put it in a bubble wrap. But you know, it's more safe if you put it in a PE foam if it is packed in a glass or something like a bottle. So I hope I have helped you on this one, Adrian.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
You're
Keep
welcome.
us updated. You know, this is good for everybody else as well. You know, to be aware of. And yeah, I'd be curious to see how you proceed.
Yeah,
But
and not
go ahead.
only that, Adrian, if you have after this coaching call, if you have some questions, some doubts on your mind, after this coaching call, you could send a message on the FB group. I'm sure you're a member of the FB group, and then tag us, because we could definitely help you. Because you know, 1 hour of this coaching call would not be enough for all the questions, for all the things that is in your head. So on your head. So if you have some questions after this call, tag me and Lucinda, and you could throw the questions in the FB group, because your question would definitely have a lot of answers from the members also. Okay, and that would be very
Mhm.
helpful for all of us. Okay, Adrian.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. I will.
Thanks,
Okay.
Ricardo. I'm actually going to just go back up to the top of the chat now. I know Teslima submitted a question at the very beginning that is super important. So the question is, I recently received an email from Amazon stating they now require a tracking number for all non-partner carrier shipments as of October 1st. All my previous shipments have been with YCD, and they don't usually provide a tracking number for their truck shipments, and they said they will charge extra to ship with UPS, which provides a tracking number. Have you heard anything about this new requirement from Amazon? So no, I actually did not, Teslima. So thank you for bringing it up. I'm going to look into it right after the call, because I'm wondering if by putting in like a BOL will suffice, because like they're going to run into issues with this. You know, not all shippers, you know, are like, not all freight forwarders are going to want to ship, you know, with UPS. You know, if something is being delivered by a truck, you know, they're not going to have a tracking number. So I have a feeling that probably a BOL will suffice, but let me look into it and I will follow up. Ricardo, do you have anything else to add? No? Okay, no problem. You're unmuted.
Thing, because earlier I was saying that you could do a 50-unit trial a challenge, right? And I have mentioned there that I do not know if it would work for PPC. And I'm happy that Michelle Ayers just sent us a message that it is possible to do PPC to work as a learning process with the 50 units. So that's good news. So, but you should literally just be bidding cents, like 2 cents, 3 cents. I mean, to learn the process, you could do that. I'm happy, Michelle. Thank you very much for the input.
Thank you. I'm just going through the chat here. I actually don't think there is any other questions. If anybody wants to come on and raise your hand and come on and ask a question, please do so. Let's see here.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, we have a question here from John. I'm trying the 10-unit challenge, but I'm waiting for my samples to show up. I'm getting stuck on several points of the listing process on Amazon Seller Central. I can only find 2 videos in the training, keyword research 1 and 2 in chapter 3, and that have anything to do with ASC. I haven't found much in the Facebook group, but I have found a few random YouTube videos on the topic. So my questions are there more videos in other chapters that I'm not seeing about using Amazon Seller Central? Is it okay to check out these other YouTube videos, or will that maybe mess up what FBA is training us to do? So I would say there's a lot, like everything is there on the course, like on like the FBA Masterclass course to, set up your Amazon account, set up your listing. If there is ever like anything specific, I definitely suggest putting it on the Facebook group that, I think, or I would like if there was more content like around this. Even when you do post that, and if it's a specific question, you will have, other students provide input, share their maybe like difficulties and like, how they got around that. I'm trying to, but I think like everything is there on the course. So keyword research part 1 and 2 in chapter 3. Okay, so I'll just be honest, like I don't look at that course like every day. So I would even see if Edgar can provide some input, because I know he knows the kind of really like deep about the course. So Edgar, sorry to put you on the spot, but is there more there like for keyword research 1 and 2 in chapter 3, or even
I'll have to follow up on that. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. And so John, if like, can you give me like maybe a specific question? Like, is there like a specific question like regarding keyword research, or like, yeah, like something specific like to it that you're trying to find that you haven't been able to find, or what you found in another video on YouTube about keyword research?
Hello.
Hi.
Ready? Thank you for answering this question. No, I'm not finding a lot on Amazon Seller Central about like the whole interface of it. And what was in the, and I'm not looking at keyword research. That was just very powerful to set it up real quick. And that's the only thing I could find though, that is anything Amazon Seller Central about setting up my little 10-unit project. And it's very, it's not user friendly, I would say, on Amazon. There's a lot of different options, and I'm getting hung up almost every little step of the way there.
So I would say there's a lot on like like on our course, there's a lot about like the setup process, like how to set up your Amazon Seller Central account. Then I would say, like, you know, obviously there's stuff there for like the shipment plans and how to create that. But a lot of using like the portal, there's the Seller Central University, and I feel like that's why maybe Tom hasn't really done so many videos on the actual like Seller Central like platform, because there's the actual like Seller Central University thing that you can do. So which, you know, like that would kind of be the best source for that if it's something specific to Seller Central. Does that kind of answer your question? Because that's what I did. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I did. Yeah, like a couple years back, like for certain things, like that's where like kind of like I started. And the thing is it doesn't change a lot, but it does, like certain things do change, like as in the last like 6 to 8 months, they change like how you do like a shipment plan. So that's why, yeah, like it's just best to go to the actual source. So Seller Central University.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, good. And yeah, if you come across other videos, my opinion on that, it shouldn't confuse you. I would say, yeah, like it shouldn't confuse you. I think like basics, like stick to the course and stick to like Amazon Seller Central University. But maybe if there's some new like trends, like people talking about like new trends and stuff, like, yeah, definitely you could watch those videos and I don't think it would be confusing for you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Gonna go on. Sorry, I thought there was another question there. There isn't. So yeah, we have about 8 minutes left. If I know somebody else had their hand up, not too sure if you still want us to ask your question, if you want to raise your hand again. Ricardo, anything you want to share?
Yeah.
Have you had any
Okay.
like some students come through and ask questions throughout the week?
Yeah, actually, I just would like to share something to most of the listeners here, and it's regarding because there are some students who are having problems in the process of their negotiation. So immediately, what they do is they message me directly in the Facebook group. Okay, in one case that I have experienced, it's regarding the Alibaba trade assurance. And, you know, it's so difficult for her because what happened is in the course of her transaction, she said that she wants to pay via Alibaba because, you know, Alibaba trade assurance would definitely protect us from anything that would happen in the future. So what happened is the supplier agreed that they pay in Alibaba Trade Assurance. So 30% was done in Alibaba Trade Assurance. And after that, in the process, of course, I mean, as I have been telling you, that the suppliers would definitely want to get you all the time. As what Hidi said, they want our money. So this supplier agreed to pay him 30% via Alibaba Trade Assurance. Then after that, in the course of the production, the product is already finished. At the last, this student wants to pay via Alibaba again, the 70%. But what happened is the supplier did not agree. He wants to be paid the 70% via WeChat or WeChat Pay or via the bank. So I tried to communicate, and she put me in a chat with the supplier, and then we really had a hard time doing this negotiation, because, you know, my point here is it is very important that we have to do everything in Alibaba, because the thing is, if something went wrong in the product, you could always ask from some claim, because you know what the supplier was telling me. Oh, because if you pay in Alibaba that 70%, once you have received the goods, he said, you might claim that there is something wrong with the product. Okay, so that means most of the suppliers, they are afraid of doing payment via Alibaba if their products are not well, if their products are not well produced. So in this conversation, I would always suggest that if you have some doubts doing business with your supplier, do it via Alibaba, because at the end, if something went wrong with your product, you would always do the claims. So that's what I could share. And also, don't
Super
forget,
important.
don't forget, in the course of the production, in the course of receiving your sample, make a portfolio, because I'm always saying this, make a portfolio to make sure that you are, you have something to show when you have the claims. So do that. Make a portfolio of the products that you are receiving. Okay, so I hope that would definitely
No, it's definitely
a good
helpful.
input for everyone. Yeah.
Mhm.
Use Alibaba in order to do business with your suppliers.
Mhm.
Though I think Tom was saying also that 30% would be done in ATA, and then the 70% could be done on via wire transfer. But yes, in order for you to protect yourself, try to do it via ATA for the first
Mhm.
transaction. For the
Mhm.
first transaction. So I
Yeah,
hope
it's
that
the
helps.
safest. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
safest. Even if you've been working with your supplier for, quite a long time and you've never had any issues, it's just important to do that. Myself and Charity run into like an issue. I don't think I've actually ever shared this story. We so it was obviously at Zadara. So one of our suppliers, his email was hacked, and we were in the process of placing an order. We were communicating about it through WeChat. Like we had ordered from the supplier like multiple times. We were communicating through WeChat about sending, like finalizing when the goods would ship out, and I was requesting the final invoice, so the 70%. And this supplier's email was hacked. Obviously, I did not know. He sent me the 70% invoice. And they'd said in the email that the banking or something had changed. And anyway, we paid it. And like 3 days later, the supplier was like, "Oh, we haven't received payment from you." Blah blah blah. And yeah, we got scammed, and we never got the money back. And it was a good like chunk of money. It was for like I don't know, like 10,000 units of something. And yeah, so when that wasn't true, like obviously Alibaba, because we at Zadara, we actually we never used Alibaba Pay. Like when I started, that wasn't how, like, Tom and Christina were, working with suppliers. They were just doing everything through bank wire. So yeah, we got screwed over by a lot of money. And it was actually like, we were so confused trying to figure it out, because it actually was the supplier's email who was hacked. Like when we went back and we looked at the email and looked at the email address. But how we kind of resolved that was we got a credit from that, not like a full credit, but we got a credit with the supplier, because at the end of the day, it was their fault. Like their email account was hacked. But yeah, do you ever remember hearing that, Ricardo?
I have an experience of something like that also, but what I normally do is this, because what I remember is I was communicating with one supplier also, and then you would notice that the domain, yes, this is really, that's the good thing. The domain of the supplier it's health something. I could remember. It's health. It's HEALTH. Okay,
Mhm.
that's how we spell the health, right? Now there is one email that came to me, and they said that payment should be done 70% to them. So I was wondering why am I receiving two emails from one suppliers? You know what I did? I checked carefully on the email. You would see that the T and the H were inverted.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
meaning if you are not careful, you'll just read it quickly. You'll just
Mhm.
say, oh, this is just the same. You know, it was a red
Yeah.
flag. Then I told the original supplier that, is this with you? I think there's something wrong with this, because the T and the H are inverted at the
Mhm.
with the word health, because it's HEALTH, but it is spelled LHT. So
Mhm.
you just have to be careful. Check on the email if there is something unusual that is happening. Also, immediately talk to your supplier about those things. So
Mhm.
that is my experience. When we're fortunate that we did not pay that supplier that has the inverted H and T email. So we just have to be
Mhm.
careful with those things.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, so Hidi is asking, can we also negotiate the terms of payment before we pay any money? Negotiate ahead of time in writing? Yes, of course. Like negotiate,
Yes,
like
definitely.
like yeah, you do that at the early, like do that kind of at early stages. Negotiate like the payment terms, and like what way you're going to pay. So yeah, negotiate all of that, and in writing, yes. Have it in the like your PO. Your PO is like your contract. But before we finish up, I'm just going to kind of just throw out some kind of deadline dates, because we are, coming into Q4 shortly. So for any kind of senior Amazon sellers, it's not your first Q4. If you're looking to submit any, deals and, like lightning deals and stuff for the holiday season, so coming up to Black Friday, the cutoff date for that is September 17th. So within the next few days. So if you're interested in that, have a look at the deals that you can apply for. Because yeah, it needs to be done by the 17th of this month. And then, so what they're saying is Black Friday deals will start on the 26th of November, and they'll end the 28th of November. And then Cyber Monday will be on the 29th of November. So important dates to keep in mind. And then inventory. When should you be getting your inventory to Amazon so it's there for the holiday season? Amazon says the cutoff for receiving is November 3rd, but everybody's cutoff is going to be October 24th, to be on the safe side, because obviously everything is just going to be congested and backed up. And again, it needs to be checked in and received. Any inventory that like arrives after that, you're not guaranteed that it's going to be available for sale during that like holiday season. So
yeah. I have something to add also, Lucinda. This is I'm sure this is very helpful for our students and also the sellers, because if you could remember, there is a restriction with regards to this regarding the FF. There is a restriction once you have your carton less than 12 kg, the FF will charge you according to 12 kg. You know this, Lucinda? I mean, I'm sure everyone knows this one. Now I will share something in the chat, and okay, wait, hold on, I'll share it. Okay, this one here. Okay, this guy is very helpful because I have one student who has a problem with who came to me, and she was saying that my carton is only 3.5 kg, and the FF are charging me 12 kg, and that's a lot, right? So I was trying to search on some of my previous suppliers, and I came across to this guy, and he was only charging according to the weight that you are according to the weight of your carton. And take note, and the charges is very low also. If you have some problem with regards to that kind of issue, that your carton is less than 3.5 kg, then contact this person, because definitely he will help you. He will help you, because I really confirmed from him, and he said that he can do it. He can ship our goods using the actual weight. I mean, using the chargeable weight, because there is a chargeable weight when you compute it via the volume and also the actual weight. So it doesn't charge according to the strict policy of the FF, that if it's 12 kg, if the restriction is 12 kg, they will charge you according to the 12 kg and not to the actual weight. So I'm sharing this because, you know, this is very, very helpful for all of us. Okay, so I hope if the people, I mean, if the listeners here, if you come across with some students who have problems with this kind of issue, share this this information. Definitely, this guy Wilson can help you. Okay, so yeah,
Thank you, Ricardo.
so
That's great.
because that
Super
will definitely
helpful.
save a lot of money for all of us. Okay.
Okay. Well, we're just gone over time, so yeah, that's all for today. We'll be back here next week. I was supposed to go away next Tuesday, Ricardo, and then I changed my flight to Wednesday, so make sure you weren't on your own.
So you're going to Ireland?
No, I'm going to LA for work, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll fill everybody in a little bit more, just a little bit on what I'm going down there to do. And but yeah, I'll be here next Tuesday. In the meantime, anybody, you know, if you've any other, you know, follow-up questions, or anything comes up during the week, just, you know, put it in the Facebook group and tag myself and Ricardo, and we'll help you out. It was great having you all on today's call. And
Same
for
here.
anybody who's new, I hope it wasn't overwhelming. Just to quickly add, I know I talked about Q4, holiday season, promotions, deals. That should not stop you from, you know, proceeding to source a product and launch. You know, everybody's at a different stage in their journey. Keep going, and yeah, don't let any of that kind of, you know, throw you off. Just keep going. Don't keep postponing it or, you know, putting it to one side. Keep going. So yeah, we will see you all next week. Ricardo, do you want to say anything before I sign off?
Well, same thing here. If you have some questions after this call, you could put it in the Facebook group. Just tag me and also tag Lucinda, and we are very happy to answer those questions. And not only that, because the thing is, if you put that in the group, there are a lot of people who's going to share their experiences in that group. So that is very, very helpful. So so that's it. So I'm happy that you're here on Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Yes, yeah, I will
you're
see you
not
next
going to be-
Tuesday. Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, take care, everybody. Good luck, and yeah, see you next week. Bye, Ricardo.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody.
Bye,
Thank
Lucinda.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you,
Bye,
Edgar, for the
Edgar. Bye,
links. Thank you,
Ben.
Ben, for the notes.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.